Since I, the idiot, your DM, forgot how Twitch works and did not save last week's stream, our first stream, I'm going to recap for the audience. Last week was our first stream ever, as I grossly rubbed my face of all the lint caught in my beard. The group, in one way or another, found their way to the city of Blackmark, a large city in the country of Arlane, where surrounded by woods, low fields, and just sort of a general foggy, rainy ambience. While sleeping at their respective inns, as they each found their way to this city of their own free will, they woke, all within the strange hospital-like environment, waking to find themselves surrounded by dead bodies and a strange nurse with a burlap sack over her head. And if I say strange one more time, I'm gonna punch myself in the face.
Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, damn it.
Well, there are stranger things.
Anyway, they freed themselves from their bindings, investigated the hospital, and managed to not only slay this seemingly mannequin-esque nurse who was under the control of some abstract aberration-esque creature, some entity, some parasite lashed onto a mannequin body. They also, as they were just then fleeing the hospital, well, fleeing may not be the right word, just exiting, they were attacked by the orchestrator of this hospital, the one leading this whole kidnapping and devouring enterprise, a strange brain-like creature with large dangling tendrils, barbed and paralyzing, as our Ella found out. Yeah. With a large protruding beak, and speaking a strange language. There we go, said it again. None of the party seemed to understand. They slew it quite keenly, almost losing one of their party members along the way. But in the 8-mile trip back to town, they finally made it back to the Rolling Red Inn, discovering that 2 of the party members had actually been staying there. Figured that was probably the best place for them to go. Well, upon arriving, they sat down, deliberated, and are currently into their drinks, as they've bought a round for themselves. One little correction that I should point out is that while the last time when you guys were investigating one of the offices at the hospital, you guys found the portrait where it says the hospital and staff standing outside a photograph. There was parts of it that were rubbed out, and while only the lilac hospital parts were legible, the outside sign, not being aged like a photograph would be, actually reads the Lilac Psychiatric Hospital. So you guys were in a psychiatric hospital, yes. The reason I forgot to say that is because I'm an idiot.
Oh, thank God he said it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll full out admit it. Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, you guys are in the Rolling Red Inn. It's roughly 4 p.m. on the 19th of Aiden month, getting very close into winter. It's pretty chilly out. Everyone's got their winter coats. You guys just made it back to town, to the city, after an 8-mile trek through the woods. You got a round of drinks. What would you guys like to do?
Have a long rest.
It's 4 in the afternoon. I don't know if that's quite the time to rest yet.
Is it noon? What time is it?
4 p.m. Afternoon.
All right. I want to just kind of do a general perception check of the other patrons around the bar. See if we see anything kind of that might seem like they would kidnap 2 people, just hypothetically.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. That's not great. Perception, that's a 12 total.
Alright, let me roll something here then. Alright. I mean, it's a general tavern inn. What you see are a number of patrons, mostly predominantly human, a few half-elves, surprisingly number of tieflings, about 4 of them in the bar total, one of them being one of the people behind the bar working, and just a couple of other random races, one dwarf, another gnome, just much like Ella, and a half-orc.
All right.
They all seem to be just kind of, a few of them together, a few of them not, drinking into their drinks, light conversing.
The ones staying at the Roll in Red were Ella and our ranger companion, whose name I forget, right?
Varys.
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 To remark to anyone watching, I'm not looking at the viewers because I'm panic-driven like that. We have Ella, our gnome, who is a cleric. I'm forgetting the domain.
Trickster domain.
Trickster domain. Trickery. We have Varys, our ranger, who has not quite reached level 3 to get his archetype yet.
My subclass. Yeah. Not quite yet.
We have forgetting names again. Yeah, I have it all written down, so I'll just go to my notes. There's my notes. We have Ezekiel, who is our ASMR blood hunter, not quite reached. I don't think you guys get your
level 3.
Yeah, level 3. And also Oda, human variant, bard, not yet level 3. Sorry, Oda.
Yeah. So it was Varys and Ella who were staying here.
Correct.
Yeah.
The Rolling Red.
Right.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. Yeah, by all means, I was going to get up and do a thing.
I was going to ask if the rooms that we had rented previously, are they still, did we rent them long enough for them to still be in our possession, so to speak, or in our
yeah, I mean, since you were just taken this day, pretty much, like you were here literally just last night. So as long as you, I mean, you still can feel the key in your pocket. So yeah,
I'm going to kind of look to the rest of the group and say, I think a good starting place might be to check our rooms for any kind of clues or hints of what might have taken us.
Is this a time to split the party, or do you want to go one room at a time?
Well, I think if we have all hands on deck, we might have a little bit of better luck.
Well, let's start with your room then.
Before we do that, I would like to approach the tiefling.
Okay. Which one of the 4? The one working behind the counter? Or?
The one behind the counter.
Okay. Well, yeah, you see a. She's gray-skinned. This tiefling, serving out drinks to a couple of the patrons at the moment. Long red hair, braided tight, but very kind of messy at the same time. Jagged, large horns, kind of like the Tim Curry horns from, what is it? I'm trying to remember that movie now. They're just like obtusely large horns for a tiefling. No,
that's Tim. That's sorry. Tim the Enchanter.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's different.
Not Tim Curry.
What is that movie? It's gonna drive me crazy. Oh well.
Anyway, excuse me, love.
Yes.
Do you perchance recall one of my compatriots over here? And I'll point towards Varys and Ella.
I recognize the 2 of them, yes.
Did you see them leave last night?
I did not. I wasn't here last night working. That would have been... Let me get his name. That would have been Kier. And he's not here right now.
K-I-R-E?
K-U-E-R. Cooler.
And where is Kier? Does he work every night?
He works every night, yes.
What time should he be coming in?
Probably around 9 p.m. I believe.
All right. Thanks much.
And is that all the questions you have?
Currently.
Okay.
Actually, I will ask. Any chance, have you noticed anyone sticking around here who hasn't bought a room?
Let's see. I know the half-orc and dwarf haven't bought a room yet, but they come here regularly for drinks. That human over there, in the corner, he's been here for almost 4 hours. I know he's only bought one drink so far. Other than that, no.
So are we still back at our previous table, or is it just Ezekiel at the bar?
It's just Ezekiel at the bar. You guys are sitting around one of the small booth tables, pretty much.
Okay, so
I like booths, so this bar is filled with booths.
Okay.
But yeah, Ezekiel, as you looking over at this human, it's he's dressed kind of more of the church, bluish green robes, not super long, but a little tattered, a little dirty. They've seen some wear and tear, some use, but he's just kind of got a frayed, short brown hair, with this 1,000-yard stare, bags under his eyes. It looks like he barely ever sleeps, and he's just been holding one drink in his hands for the last 30 minutes to an hour that you've been in here.
Alright. Take a note of that.
With not having any of that information, I'm just gonna kind of gesture everybody to head upstairs with me to my room.
Yeah, I'll head back to the table after I'm done talking with the tiefling. I'll leave a piece of silver on the table for the info.
Thank you, lab. She pockets it.
So shall we proceed on to our rooms, or my room then?
Lead on.
All right. So I'll just go ahead and head on up to whichever room I was staying at previously.
Yeah, nose itches.
I think my nose is just looking at you, man.
Yeah. The room that you rented is fairly mundane in its presentation, pretty much. It's only got one bed, sort of a half dresser. It's only about 3 feet tall, with only 2 drawers. A small end table with a lamp. It's not a plug-in lamp or anything, but a fuel lamp.
Okay.
One window, no view. Pretty solid, just sleeping room, pretty much.
Right. I want to immediately check the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just anything to indicate a kidnapping or anything.
If you guys want to make an investigation check, one of you with advantage, since all of you are helping.
I'm gonna check the window personally.
So I want to check the bed.
Okay. LL, was there anything in particular you wanted to check, or just the room in general?
Just kidnapping, struggle, anything.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna actually have you make a perception check, and for Oda and Varys make investigation checks.
Okay.
I'll help Ella out.
Okay, so Ella gets advantage.
21.
21.
Okay.
16 and 15. Okay, that is somewhere. 16 add perception. Maths. 19.
Okay, 19. No, actually kind of surprising to have proficiency in that. But yeah, for the window, you see that it is nailed down. The nails are kind of halfway in and bent in various angles. The bed, you flip it over, there's a small blood stain on the other side, but it looks pretty old, dried, crusted. Kind of looks like this bed has never been thoroughly cleaned, and the sheets are clean though, but the bed itself, it's a mess. A lot of the springs are just like sticking out, and like if it was flipped over, it would just be a gnarled spine.
It's a good thing I don't do a lot of sleeping.
Yeah. Ella, what you gather is there are a lot of scuff marks, somewhat broken wood paneling on the floor. For the most part, there isn't anything that really stands out as a struggle or any kind of clues to any kidnapping necessarily.
So my window is nailed shut?
Yeah, the window is currently nailed shut. has been.
And there's only one entrance.
They must have come in through the hallway.
Unless there's a secret door. We could check the walls.
I don't think a mundane inn like this would have secret passages, but I guess it can't hurt to check.
They got us somehow.
You're right. You're right.
But yeah, looking out into the hall, I mean, it's a long hall. You're on the 3rd floor of this inn. There's one window at the very end of the hall, and the other end is just the stairs leading downward.
Well, Ellie, would you like to check your room? We're not seeming to have a whole lot of luck here.
Okay. Head to my room.
Okay.
All right.
It's
Follow her.
very similar in its presentation. The bed, the nailed down window, the half dresser, which for your size is actually pretty appropriate. The end table, the lamp is actually currently missing. That's one thing that you noticed when you rented the room out. Probably stolen by the last person to rent the room.
Seems appropriate.
But yeah, it's. I mean, these aren't really good rooms, but you guys got them cheap at least.
It's all I can afford at the moment. So we don't
Fine.
have any signs of struggle on either of our rooms. We don't have any form of. They couldn't have gotten us out through the window, so they had to have gone through our doors. Is there a window nailed shut as well? Because that.
Yeah, Ella's the room that Ella took out is nailed shut. Yeah.
Okay, so that's at least not out of the ordinary there. So
It must have been magical then, like somehow. I don't know.
Or they
That's the
walked
whole
through-
inn is in on it.
I don't know if
walked through the inn.
you can magically induce an elf to sleep.
it's not very easy, that's for sure.
I was thinking more teleportation, like bam, room, take us, gone.
It's possible. But
Not- Well, we wouldn't have known if we weren't conscious. I was meditating when I was taken, so I was in my trance. This is concerning.
well, we do have the option of talking to this care person or care
Kur.
Kur.
Yeah.
Kur.
Well,
This Kur gent.
did you? I noticed you talking to the barkeep a moment ago. Did you notice anything? Did she have any information for you? Anything worth taking home?
That Cure was the bartender at the time, and because it's going to come in around 9,
All right.
the half orc and the dwarf downstairs, they come in regularly for drinks, and Padre down there is been nursing the same drink for 4 hours.
Without even like responding, I just immediately walk out the door and begin to try to seek out this the priestly-looking man.
Okay. As you head down the 2 flights of stairs leading to the main room, the actual tavern, you do see pretty clearly the bluish-green robes, worn, tattered, muddied, sitting at one of the far back corner tables. He's got one drink in his hand. He's been barely sipping on it. He's got a tired look, messy hair, a little bit of stains to his face, but nothing too crazy.
I'm going to go to the barkeep and order another drink for myself, and another one for the priest before I head over to him.
Okay.
Bring that with him.
Make a religion check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turns out religion's not my strong suit. Let's do this. That is a strong 12.
12. He certainly doesn't look priestly, but more like a low-level cleric, probably.
Okay.
Doesn't have like that kind of level of raiments. Plus, a priest would probably have a little bit more care to his presentation. But he does seem to have a melancholy look. But the drinks themselves, you're getting 2.
Yep.
Inequality.
Nah, just swill.
12. In that case, let's see, be like 1 silver for both total.
One silver for both? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I give the barkeep an extra silver for good measure, and
Thank you, Doc.
head back over to this clerical-looking fellow. And
Okay.
kinda, without even really introducing myself, I just kind of sit down next to him and slide him a drink and say, "You look like you need this."
He looks at his drink, quickly downs it, and then grabs the drink that you gave him. Thank you.
You've got a story, friend. You look like those eyes have seen 1,000 devils in a lifetime.
Devils, no. Deaths, yes. Having to deal with the Ashen is trying, painful.
Well, I do come here often.
No,
Yes,
I
not a regular visitor.
don't come here often.
What brings you over to this spot to the Rolling Red Inn here?
I was making a house call. Thought we could help him, but got there too late. Dead before I even got there.
See a lot of death in these spots, I'd imagine. This
Yeah.
city, this pollution, the undead that runs rampant, I can imagine it would be more than overwhelming.
No, this isn't exactly something that we can pin the blame on any undead or fiendish quality. It's just a disease.
Do I, without like context, know of what disease would be kind of
Uh,
running rampant?
There are a lot of diseases that affect the world. There is one prevalent disease that, since you're home to this area, you know, has been kicking up high gear lately in the last few years. It's called Ashen. The symptoms of Ashen are high fever, persistent cough, grayish graying of the skin, and a general weakening of the body.
Okay.
The later symptoms is that when you cough, you actually cough out ash, and the last symptom, quote unquote, is that the body, over a course of less than a minute, turns to ash, leaving no body to resurrect or revivify.
That sounds hellish. Have the rest of the group come down as well.
Eventually, you're the one who sped up, so
Yeah, I just
maybe-
booked it.
We're just
Maybe
going slowly back.
and I
mean,
have I walk with a limp and a cane, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I probably swung by I swung by the bar for a minute, so that probably slowed me down a little bit. But I'm gonna kind of gesture to over to, is it Odo or Oda? I'm sorry.
Odo.
Odo. I'm gonna gesture over to Odo and say, my compatriot here is actually a doctor. Maybe there's something he can kind of relate to there. Then just kind of like look over at you like.
I'm gonna look at his. I'm just gonna look at the man and see if I can't perceive it, or is it a medicine check or a perception check to see if I can't see if there's any like thing that he has.
Probably medicine. It's
I'll take.
still
I'm just
wisdom.
gonna.
So.
I'm gonna look him over, just like without touching him.
Can I try and see what religion he's from? What sort of cleric?
You do see a small iconography hanging around his neck. Not quite a necklace, but more just like a pendant clasped to his robes. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make a religion check. And the medicine check you made? Oda?
15.
15. I mean, he himself, it looks like he's just more sleep deprived. He's just
All right.
exhausted.
So he's just tired.
Yeah.
That's a 9.
9. I mean, you have a connection to the Arlasian deities, so it's not too much of a hassle to be able to tell. It's the icon. The symbol is for Heron, the scholar, who presides over knowledge, magic, art, and clarity. Lawful, neutral. One of the more patrons of just sort of the general bookish bookworm kind of deity, I guess. Would be the most accurate way of putting that.
Are you gonna share that with the group?
Well, I just saw. Okay. I said to him. I don't know what to say.
Fair enough. To that, I'm going to say, look, I'll be brazenly honest with you. I didn't come here to just chat up a man who seems like he's seen some horrors. But have you, aside from the Sashin that's plaguing the land, have you noticed any strange occurrences, missing people, eviscerated bodies?
Eviscerated bodies, missing people, we get that every day. Murderers,
Have
undead,
you heard of the
kidnappings.
Lilac Psychiatric Hospital?
The Lilac Psychiatric Hospital? That was shut down years ago. What about it?
Well,
Just curious if you've heard about anyone going in there or coming out.
Not in ages. It
any
was
happenings in the general area?
well, the Lilac Psychiatric Hospital was abandoned when it was kind of riddled with a cult, essentially. Some madman who bought the place after the founder died. Apparently, he started calling forth just another follower who fell to seal a cap.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that one's got to hit home for you.
I believe
see
that
you
they called. I believe that they were attempting to call an aberration, some kind of creature from the far realm.
Huh.
And he just takes a big swig of his drink. Too much damn evil in this world.
He knows a lot.
I feel like this priest has seen some stuff. So, you seem to be well versed in the happenings of this cult, or at least quite familiar with it.
I like to keep myself informed.
Have you heard of any activity coming from them lately? Anything in this area?
In this area, a few missing people here and there. Mostly drifters.
Drifters go missing mostly.
Yeah, people no one would miss. People no one would think to ask questions about.
You can see how that might happen. Oof.
Takes another drink, sets it down.
I haven't touched my drink at this point as far as we've sat down. I've been very much so kind of fixated on this conversation.
Yeah.
So look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Actually, can I do a quick insight check on him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I feel like we're kind of investing a lot into some dude that looks
dead.
Yeah. Well, even with a +5, that's a hard 9.
9. I mean, you gather there's probably no real deception in his voice, but just sort of like he'll start a thought and then just kind of trail off, leaving a lot of the information part of it absent.
As I see him kind of like start to like finish his drink up a little bit more, I'm just gonna slowly slide mine over to him.
Okay.
It's kind of like gesturing over, like go ahead, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to get him a little bit boozed up and see if we can get a little bit of loose lips out of him.
Yeah. As he sees another drink, he quickly finishes off the drink that he had. You get the impression that the reason he was saving that first drink for so long is that he didn't have a lot of cash to buy another one.
Gathered that.
Yeah, but he quickly finishes off of the second and takes the drink that you gave him. He acknowledges it, but you don't really see like an audible thank you. He just seems too exhausted for any actual confrontation in that manner.
That's fair. Well, I do not think I have any more questions. Do you guys got anything for him? Because I'm starting to run out.
Nothing for him currently.
The patients that you failed to resuscitate, what did they die of?
Ashen. There's no body to resuscitate once they're dead. And Odo, you know well enough about Ashen, that being a doctor, having been in the city for a while now, you know that the symptoms: persistent cough, the high fever, the graying skin, the coughing of ash, and then upon death, the body literally turns to ash.
Not the same color skin as the tiefling at the bar, but
no, more just like a patchy gray, sickly looking thing.
Is there any cure for Ashen yet?
None that anyone knows of.
How is it contracted?
No one really knows exactly how they first couple of cases came about, but the contraction is breathing in the ash, essentially.
The ash of the fallen.
Yeah. Which is a little hard to do when an entire human body or humanoid body turns to ash, and that's a lot of ash to spread in the air.
Seems like it'd be easier just to condemn the entire building at that point.
Yeah.
Did you? I'm asking the cleric. Did you breathe in any of the ash?
No,
By
I
mistake.
haven't. No, we take good precautions at the temple.
What kind of precautions do you take for ashen? It seems to be rampant around the city.
Gas masks, cloth around the face usually is enough to prevent anything. Symptoms usually take hold in a matter of days.
Cloth around the face.
As he's talking about this, I'm like slowly pulling my little scarf thing up over my nose, just like not even thinking about it.
But yeah, Odo, like for the cases you've seen, and you've certainly seen a number of them, gas masks or thick cloth around the face is pretty substantial when it comes to preventing the spread.
I guess so. Otherwise, it'd be a lot more death, huh?
Yeah.
This is true.
But yeah, it does get around though.
Don't get too suspicious of people like covering their faces. They might just be protecting themselves from disease.
Yeah, which can be problematic when, can't really fault anyone for hiding their identity.
This is true. All right. Well, I have been more than charismatic for my whole charisma score of 8, so I think I'm just kind of hitting a brick wall in this conversation. So
I say, I see your necklace symbol. Where's your temple located, Aaron?
The Viridian Athenaeum.
What?
Viridian Athenaeum. Athenaeum is another word for like a library or archives. In Viridian, shade of green. Yeah.
Aaron.
Viridian Athenaeum. It's on the other side of town. Not quite on the other side of the bridge, but more just a little ways from where you guys are currently located, typically near the lake district, where it's near a large, it's not quite a lake, it's more of like a large glorified pond, but it's right around that area.
I imagine there's a lot of doctors in your temple.
Doctors no, scholars yes.
Would any of them have worked at the hospital? Sorry.
I do it more voluntarily.
Can you tell me where your the last victims of Ashen died? Well,
I mean, there's the.
I might be the only one in the entire town who might be able to examine the remnants.
I'll lean over to Varys, just be like, "Are we nurses now?"
No, you don't have to go anywhere with me. In fact, I'm more than happy to say goodbye.
So, are you asking for where the last where the largest collection of where the Ashen are collected, like a hospital, or are you asking for like where the last specific corpse was?
Yes, I want to know the very last specific one to see the most recent strain of the.
We get in a few hundred.
They're so dead, Odo.
Yeah, we get in dozens of patients a day.
Damn it!
If you're looking for the best chance to find one, you'd probably have a good luck in finding one in either in the Arlasian Assembly, which is the main council house for the actual Arlasian faith system here in the city, or the Chamber of Deerhome, which is the arcane advisory board to the city of Blackmark.
He's been so extremely helpful. This person. Only one insight check too. That's.
I mean, just literally a scholar of like a scholar cleric. So like knowledge is thing.
It's just.
What's your name?
It's interesting. You guys never asked. He kind of pauses for a moment and he just kind of looks over to Soren Kest.
Soren?
SORENKEST.
Sorencast.
So Sorencast. Wait, what's today?
The 19th of Aiden.
Sorencast. That name sounds oddly familiar.
Soren Ardinia is the Soren we're looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding.
It's
Never
a
mind.
fairly common name.
It's like
And
me.
in that, I forgot that I named one of the characters Soren already.
Yeah, but like, I could see everyone being like,
My son is also named Bort.
Bordodo.
uh,
Well, I'm just kind of like leaning over to Ezekiel and say, why are they asking so much about the ash? And I thought we were looking for the people who kidnapped us.
that was my impression as well.
I'm just curious for my own devices. You feel free to treat me as just a rambling old man, if you wish.
Already done.
Yeah.
Done and
Definitely
done.
Yeah. I am actually going to go back up to the tiefling.
Okay. Can I get you
Excuse
another
me,
drink?
Please. And I didn't catch your name.
My name. Demira Revenol.
You have some fancy names, man. What the hell?
But yeah, it's Demera, and Ravenol, Ravinol.
Sorry, one more time.
Demaera, and then Ravenol, Ravinol. Demira Ravenol.
Wonderful.
Demana, pleased to make your acquaintance.
And here's your
Call me
drink.
Ezekiel.
And she slides it over, kind of ignoring your name.
Fair
That's
enough.
5 copper.
Yeah, I'll slide over the coin.
Alright, 5 copper.
Have you had a problem recently with folks coming in, getting runes, and then checking out without notifying anyone?
Well, if you mean I've lost 5 keys this week, yes.
That's a red flag.
Is that
I'm
common?
still not over there, though.
Common? No, it's definitely not common. I've had a few people skip out of town keeping their keys with them. I'd replace a few locks that way, but it's a lot in a week.
5 in a week is suspicious.
Yeah, it is.
Have any of the other ends had similar problems?
I don't really keep good tabs on the other ends unless I'm trying to steal ideas from them.
That's very brash.
Fair enough. Well, thanks for the drink. Thanks for the info. I'll slide another piece of silver. And
Welcome to the business. And she pockets it.
I will come back over to the group.
Alright.
And I'm still sitting over here with our friend.
Just an
whose
awkward
name-
conversation now.
Yeah.
Wh-
He
what?
kind of thinks for a moment. And what was your interest in the Lilac Psychiatric Hospital anyway?
We just had a very strange experience there.
Oh really?
You know anyone that used to work there? Anyone? You know a lot of scholars.
I used to work there.
You used to work there.
Me? No, God no. I know a few people at the hospital here in the city did years ago. But
Are they still in the city?
yeah. You can find
What
the
are
hospital
their names?
names.
Do you want names?
Yep.
Or where we can find them, or
Yeah. Let me get the stuff for you about the districts and all that. You can find the hospital in the Barren district. Not barren as in like a barren landscape, because that's a little, yeah. But Barren, Baron.
You find the current hospital in there?
Yeah, the current active hospital here in the city.
The not super crazy killer psychic hospital.
Yeah, this is more
So-
like for health
As far
issues.
as we know.
Yeah, well, sure.
So what was this man of the cloth's name? This
Soren Kest.
Soren Kest.
But you could find one of the doctors is Ipkiss Eliel. Lay, sorry.
Ariel.
I get the name for you. Ipkiss, which 2 S's, and Lay, which is Alei.
Soren Kest. Let me ask you this, just out of more brazen curiosity than nothing. Why
Alright.
would they build a psychiatric hospital 8 miles outside of town? What?
A lot of more dangerous people were taken there. people who the prisons couldn't really keep and maintain. So they took him there, and being 8 miles outside of town, if anyone escaped, chances of them going on another killing spree would be greatly reduced.
So we're
That's
looking
right.
at a
Solid
bit of an
answer.
asylum then.
Pretty much. A hospital was given more of a positive name, make people feel a little bit more better about sending their folks to them.
Well, that's just wonderful, isn't it? Look, I'm going to be honest with you. We've managed to find ourselves inside the hospital not too long ago. Some might even say a few hours ago. We are trying to get to the bottom of what's happening there. Me and the cleric here, the little one, we're actually both staying at this inn here in 2 separate rooms. And both found ourselves kidnapped over the course of the night and somehow in this hospital. And we saw a couple aberrations and horrors, and that, though I know they are not rare in this land, they are still quite uncommon.
Yeah.
We're looking for more information of who could have taken us and why.
He,
The why seems to be that we were just vagabonds, and
Yeah.
the who is what I'm more interested in, and where can we kill them.
he thinks for a moment. Do you know anything about what you saw there? Any of the specific creatures?
Large brain,
Brain,
ugly tentacles.
poisonous.
Someone
Did he
give me
kill
some
me?
aberration.
As you say brain, he gets like a little bit of a fearful look, but when you go on with the description, he's oh wow, that's actually a really good roll for him. Sounds like you guys met with a Grell.
It appears so.
Bless
Solo agents, they don't really work well with others. They'll use aberration servants or parasites to do their bidding, but they're not exactly ones to formulate any strategic plans.
So
Well-
he's a pawn of sorts, it seems like. Maybe not the lowest pawn, but
Well,
similar.
they would typically work alone in that they would be the only one active. Meaning that they'd solo.
Mm-hmm. How would a Grell come into an inn, pick us out in the middle of the night, march us out 8 miles out of town without us, 1, being conscious, and 2, anybody seeing it?
Well, you said that there were other things that you saw?
There was
A lot of dead bodies.
a lot
All
of dead bodies.
gone.
Also,
Kind of gross.
I mean, they can utilize things like servants, but I mean, only dumb ones, things that aren't really willing to challenge them or have any brains for them to feed on.
Like a mannequin?
What about the
Construct,
bodiless?
yeah, I suppose.
What about the bodiless voice that we found? The one under the sheet?
Oh yeah, that was a haunted. There was a ghost.
Varys is just grimacing because he still is pissed off about that.
He thinks for a moment. I mean, that hospital is filled with ghosts, whether they be actual ghosts or just phantoms of a damned hospital for the mad.
And there's nothing else you can tell us about that hospital.
I mean, the hospital itself, it was just a hospital where the founder died under mysterious circumstances, and a madman to steal a calf came in, started a cult, and started sacrificing his own patients.
Well,
And with that, he just finishes off his drink. Like, that is a lot to think about.
On a lighter note, mate, I'm new to town. Black Mark seems to have a lot of districts. Could you do a quick rundown for me?
Absolutely. As I quickly go to my notes.
He's so handsome. I love this guy.
The Lake District, which is kind of it's probably the most peaceful district here in the city.
Which district? The Lake District.
Lake District. It's where the large pond is. Not really a lake.
never would have guessed.
But it has the library, the temple, a couple other temples, as well as the graveyard. Probably the quietest district as well. There is the district that you guys are currently in, which is simply referred to as the Mark District or Market District, which is for markets. Yeah, any kind of business. No one really lives in this district. They work Lash District. There is the Barren District, which is across the river, which has a lot more of the governing bodies, the hospital, parliament, the actual manor in which the queen lives, and a lot of the magistrate system in the city functions in the Barren District. And then there is the, just had them all written down, and now I can't seem to discover what I put them. Where is it? Oh yeah, the Wall District, which is up against the largest part of the wall, which is pretty much just where a lot of people live, and that's on, again, your guys' side of the river. Make sure I get a lot of this written down myself, because I'm trying to be better about notes. And then there is, let's see, where is it? There it is. The Arrowhead District, which is the Lash District, which has just a bit more of the, kind of more just the upper crust. It's also on like a map shaped like an arrowhead, which is a little bit more named after what it's called and not really what it looks like, not exactly what it is. But yeah, the Arrowhead District is probably the more fancy, posh living district for the city. But those 5 districts are make up the city of Blackmark.
All right.
Thanks much.
Can I do an insight check to see if he's holding any information out on us?
Yeah, go ahead.
Seems to be a font of information.
What did you get? 6.
5. 11.
11. Okay. I mean, you get the impression that there's probably lots of information that he's just not giving, but he's not reluctant to give. It's just not really stuff that's prevalent. Yeah, relevant.
If you don't mind my asking, why is a scholar making house calls to treat a sick man?
I'm a cleric, and I'm volunteering to do the work. The hospital needs more help. The other temples in the city need more help. Ashton's spreading. Just, I can do some good. Might as well.
You seem like a reasonably sound and good-hearted man. Well, I thank you for your time. You've been more than helpful to us.
You're welcome.
But I think we must continue our investigation elsewhere, because we seem to be at a bit of a standstill at the moment in finding what exactly took us and how we can put a bullet in its head.
I've never heard of an apparition using constructs, but I mean, I know that there are other apparitions that they can call upon themselves. At least a Grell can. Whether they be primarily parasitic, not. And he kind of looks around. Primarily, just wants to do their work bidding for them. If you were taken from this place, I imagine probably just some obedient, mindless servant.
Do you think they would possess a humanoid, a being like one of us?
There's a lot of aberrations, and they are, by definition, very weird.
You never said what happened to the madman that started sacrificing patients.
He was gunned down in the hospital by the sentries here in town. They formed a small gathering, went there to stop what was going on.
Are there any other rumors of diabolists in town?
Diabolists? You mean like, I'm as a DM. You mean like for devils and infernal?
Someone who summons otherworldly things.
Oh, you mean more like an alienist almost.
Yeah, alienist, sir.
Can't think for a moment. I mean, none that I've really heard of, no.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
I mean, I know that there's definitely got to be a few fiendish cults here in the city, but ones for apparitions, they keep themselves very secret.
And you're positive that madman died? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, they brought his corpse back and beheaded it, even though it already
Okay,
was
yeah,
gunned down, yeah.
That seems pretty dead to me.
Gotta make sure. I mean, one of the problems, though, is they had to be sure. They had to behead it even after it's gunned down. He had a parasite in his body. One of the aberrations took control of his body, basically marionetted him while he was asleep.
Wait. Parasite. Did it by chance look like this? And I just sort of like put my hands together and start wiggling my fingers.
I mean, he kind of shrugs like, I mean, I was much younger than I am now. But I mean, yeah, the reports that I read and heard about when I was taking my classes.
I'm going to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was just basically just puppeted him. Apparently, he was probably dead for a long time before he even bought the estate, the hospital. I mean, but just puppeted by the parasite. Not like a Rikick parasite, mind you. When he kind of looks around again, I mean that's an entirely different thing. But a lot of aberrations and parasites.
I want to go into my bag and pull out that little barb that I had retrieved from the squiggly-headed mannequin.
Okay.
And kind of like unfold it very carefully, as to not like prick myself or anything. Show it to him and be like.
Well, there was the barb from the brain creature. The mannequin didn't have any barbs.
Mm.
Yeah.
So this was from the
Big guy.
Grell.
Yeah. Grell. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
Oh, then he is aware of it being a girl. Okay, that's irrelevant then. Just kidding.
Okay.
Well then, I think we have something else to do.
Agreed. Though I will say that parasite sounds a lot like what we stabbed repeatedly from the head of the mannequin.
Yeah, that was creepy as fuck.
Yeah. It seems like there's some kind of parasite taking control of others. Perhaps that's going to be the end game for us, is finding who is the facilitator of these parasites.
Are you guys saying that out loud, or?
No, I'm like literally just talking out loud to him and the rest of our group, paying
Oh.
no mind that he's there.
Being like it was programmed to attack us, because it only started attacking us once we took the sack off.
That's true, but also I don't know. I'm at a loss. I don't deal with these kind of aberrations and parasites. I hunt the undead, and I hunt what once walked the land and now does so through nefarious means.
You see Soren kind of think for a moment. I mean, if you guys were taken from your rooms and that it being like were you guys like kidnapped, or?
Yeah.
Look, I don't really sleep. I just meditate for a few hours.
I mean,
somewhere along the lines, I was taken, and without realization, ended up in this hospital.
Well, I mean, I'd probably be best to ask the night crew here, but I mean, you guys could have just been hosted by one of these parasites. You say you fought one already.
You answer me this: do you know where they tend to enter their hosts, these parasites?
I don't even know what parasites you faced off with.
Fair enough. I'm like just kind of feeling around the back of my neck and my.
Go and make an investigation check with advantage, because it's your own neck.
Okay. That was awful. That is a.
Even with advantage?
I rolled a 4 and a 10.
Ah.
The +2. Yep.
12. I mean, it's 12. It's your neck. Don't worry. But yeah, you do feel like a small bump on the back of the neck that was not there prior.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm immediately pulling out a dagger and going to try and start.
Perhaps you should let us.
Yeah, let's look at it.
Yeah.
My blade is like on my skin as soon as he kind of like stops me. Like, what? Why is this weird?
Yeah, I'm just looking at them like, what?
I have a literal scalpel in my bag that I could very precisely operate on your neck if you needed me to.
Go, Odo. If you're looking at his neck, go ahead and make a Sorry. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception. 9.
9. I mean, it looks a little like red in a few places, but yeah, you do see a bump still.
Do we all have it? Can I check?
Yeah. I mean, now that you know what you're looking for, you guys can all feel bumps on the back of your neck. They're not like huge bumps; they're more like spider bite bump.
Ezekiel, did you ask the barmaid when the night crew were getting in?
The bartender that gets in comes in around 9.
What time is it?
It's probably getting around more 5 now.
Okay. We'll wait. They must have seen us leave.
So then it seems like something must have taken control of us. Parasite must have gotten all of us if all of us were taken.
Yeah.
You might
still in our bodies?
That's what I'm worried about, hence the knife.
You see Soren just kind of looking at you guys like all curiously like that.
So GM, just floating this out there, being what I am, I have a rather personal connection with my blood and bodily functions.
Yeah, you do.
Might I be able to feel or sense if there was something wrong with sort of my blood flow or something not common in my body?
That's a very complicated check. I would probably say make a Constitution check. Just say D20 plus your con score. Not con mod. Sorry.
That is a 20 total.
20 total. I mean, you concentrate, kind of meditate peacefully to yourself. I mean, you don't feel anything that's strange. Let's see. If you guys want to look at any one of your else, if anyone wants to look at anyone else's neck, just let me know and you guys can make a perception check.
I immediately, like, without even asking, I just kind of begin to check out this neck. Like, come here, let me just.
Whose neck were you looking at?
Odo.
Odo.
Oh, Odo, yeah.
All right.
Looking at my neck.
Yep, I just immediately grab you, spin you around without really asking.
Okay, then I look at
Okay, just make a perception. If you're looking at a neck, make a perception check.
I dropped my cane in surprise.
Yeah, neck watch 2012.
Just hold steady for just a moment, Odo.
Odo, Soren picks up the cane, hands it over to you again. What'd you roll, Ella?
11.
11. And who else was making a perception check?
I rolled a 12.
Well,
that was higher than my natural 4.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got above a 10. That's all I was looking for. You see a red mark, what looks like something like a soft bruise along the base of the neck, and just in the center of the neck, you see three little puncture marks, like little clamped-on marks that kind of pulled against the skin. But I mean, you don't really see anything there. Doesn't seem like anything burrowed in. There's no huge bump on the neck, just like a spider bite almost.
Okay.
It seems we were each bitten by something in turn. I don't believe we have anything currently affecting us. It seems like it just struck us and left. And through whatever means, we may have actually done this on our own accord without realizing it.
Tied ourselves up.
Overhearing this, Soren kind of looks at you guys like, I mean, if you guys were bit this way, probably more of them around here.
Well,
alright, time to burn the city to the ground.
Well, I guess we have to kill everyone. No, with that, I'm just going to turn to the rest of the group and basically pretend like Soren Guest isn't even here at this point. Look, here's what my plan is. This isn't like an immediate action, though. I say I don't really care if you join at this point. I'm going to I'm going to wait down in the tavern tonight and watch the comings and goings.
That's a good idea.
I'm just gonna kind of generally keep an eye on things, see if I see anybody who leaves their room late at night and takes off, or anybody come in that looks kind of shady.
Okay.
May I sleep in your room?
Go ahead. I kind of toss him the key, like haphazardly.
Varys, go and make a. Actually, I guess all of you guys independently can make an insight check.
Insight check.
Oh, nice. 22.
24.
5.
Insight.
Oh, sorry. 7.
Oh shit. 18 add 5.
Okay. Everyone except Ezekiel. One of the things that you guys gather, this is kind of a little bit of a refresher, and B, kind of for decency's sake. What you guys remember is that the papers that you guys got from the office at the Lilac Psychiatric Hospital had names on them. The last 4 names were you 4, and there were no more names after that. So you're not sure if anyone will even be gathered afterwards.
We did have a Soren Ardinia who was taken on the 16th, and a Garen, no currently known last name, that was taken on the 14th.
Yeah. Those are the only other 2 names. Since those were sitting in the actual water, those papers were damaged pretty badly.
We do also know at least one other person was taken on the 13th, but we don't have a name.
Yeah.
So it's reasonable enough to assume that we were the last of them there.
Well, you guys killed the...
so
basically killed everything there, so yeah.
If the Grell is dead and the Grell is behind this, then no more people are going to be abducted.
Not to that hospital, maybe.
With a plus 20, the 20 plus to your insight checks, there's a good chance that might be the case.
But I will look towards Priest Soren.
I think the DM's trying to tell us to stop looking into this.
If you guys want to, like I literally just said that there might be like clusters of more of these little parasites somewhere in the city. So
that's also true. Well,
which is terrifying to think about because I hate parasites.
Soren, does the last name Ardinia mean anything to you?
Ardinia, no, not really.
Okay. Our names were the last one on there, which means... But we escaped. We were the only people to escape, which means they either need more people, or they're done. Or they're coming back for us.
We killed the thing that was taking organs.
The Grell did seem to be what was facilitating it, but I thought it wasn't... Sorry. Go ahead.
Why was the Grell taking notes and shit?
They're very into paperwork. They super organized. These Grell.
I'm less concerned with people being taken to a hospital where they can now just walk out because we've done all the hard work, and more concerned with people being bitten by mind-controlling parasites.
Well, that's definitely something to be worried about.
They seem to be running... It's another sea-like thing. Sea-like... whatever's...
Celiac and Celiac. Which one are you referring to? The one that went crazy or the original one?
The original.
Okay, Celiac.
It's like, well, kind of both. I was like, oh, it's his fault again.
But yeah, pretty much aberrations have always been in the world, but the abundance, like the sheer abundance of them that have been present in the last like few hundred years, is because of Celiac. Yes.
Celiac.
I know that is a mouthful.
You're a scholar, mate. You know anyone in the city who's an expert on aberrations?
Expert of aberrations? I mean, your best bet is to go to the Deerhone Assembly. No, sorry. The Chamber of Deerhone. Which is the arcane advisory board to the actual city of Blackmark. They would probably be the best bet for the sheer abundance of knowledge. They'd be your best bet.
Well, that's my best plan. Anyone else?
Well, after you.
All right. Soren, mate, thanks for the information.
Also, Soren, how the hell do
I'm sorry, what?
how do we get to the Chamber of Deerhorn?
That's a good question.
Because I'm familiar with the city, but I'm not.
Mind control it does things you never.
It's in the Barren District on the other side of the river.
All right.
And is there a bridge that we can just pass?
Yeah, there are multiple bridges. There's 4 bridges in total, 1 currently under construction.
Before we cross, though, I think Oda and I should probably return the keys to our own inns, because it sounds like there may be a shortage of keys in the city.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
At that rate, he does have my key, because I have tossed it to him.
Yeah. But, so, is the Long Draw Inn on the way to the bridge?
The Longjaw Inn is also in the Mark District where you guys are currently at, and yeah, it's pretty nearby, actually. The Mustang Inn is probably a little further away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured.
Feeling around, I still have a key for my room there.
Yeah.
All right. Besides, this might give us more information if they were targeting specifically this inn, and Oda and I are just aberrations, if you'll excuse the term. But
well then,
let's get going.
Or if it's a citywide thing.
Yeah. So you guys are heading out?
What's this?
I'll buy Soren like another 2 rounds.
Okay.
I hope he goes to sleep.
oh my god,
I mean,
I'm gonna order him.
you get the impression he's a drinker, but I mean, 5 drinks already. Wow.
He's at an inn. It's not going to be uncommon for this guy to pass out on the table.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully he is a cleric, but yeah.
Well, doctor's orders, bed rest at least one night.
Yeah.
If you're still here, we'll play cards. Cheer you up. You look horribly depressed, and we've just been mind controlled, and you look worse.
And that's probably why we're so happy. You should try this mind control thing.
Yeah, not a lot, but
it's very freeing.
After these 2 drinks, I'm probably gonna head back to the Viridian after, and so if you guys need anything, probably find me there.
You sure you don't drive any cops home? You might get into a bit of a wreck.
I'll leave that to the horse, but I usually walk.
That's fair. Thank you so much, Stormcast, for your information. You've been a font of knowledge to us.
It's a pleasure, as I'm a clerk of Heron.
Well, I'm going to put 2 silver pieces on the counter in front of him.
Okay.
And say, if you find yourself needing another round, get up and begin to head for the door.
Okay.
Well, are we going to head on back to your 2 inns then, or shall we head straight to the Chamber of Deerhorn?
The Chamber of Deerhorn being in the Barren District, you, Odo, know that your the Mustang Inn is also there, where you were.
Well, I could make my way there, and then meet you at the Deerhorn if you need to return your key.
Well, I was hoping to get some more information, see if anyone saw me wander out.
Well, that's what stealthful observation is for. You don't want to talk to too many people, or whoever might be looking for you will have the insight as to what you know.
Well, there are 2 scenarios in that. Either they leave me alone, in which case I'm good, or they come and find me, in which case I cut their head off with this giant scythe on my back. Which is also good.
Well, if they mind control you again, that'll suck.
Who's to say you're not already mind controlled?
Good point. And I will very quickly take out a flask, down it, and walk towards the inn.
Okay.
Would you consider that a short rest as far as I'm still definitely at 11 HP right now.
Yeah, I would probably say that as you guys have been in this tavern, sitting around, talking, conversing, that is certainly a light activity. I would definitely allow a short rest.
Are you going to restore yourself with a hit dice or something?
Yeah. In case we get to any street scuffles.
Because if you do that, I could play a song of of rest, and you would heal a little bit more.
Sure.
How many people does that Song of Rest apply to?
Anyone who's near me, as long as they're using a hit dice. I have to find it though.
Song of Rest.
Song of Rest. Yes, I can use a soothing music to help revitalize my wounded allies. If you or any friendly creatures who hear my performance regain hit points by spending hit die at the end of their short rest, each of these creatures gain an extra 1d6 hit points.
All right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. In that case, I am.
Yeah, Odo, you play music, right? Can you?
Yeah, I'm playing.
Bandage.
Hard Day's Night.
Soothing tunes.
That puts me almost back at my max of 18, at 17. While he's playing this, I'm just like, wow, for such a crotchety old man, you seem to be quite the musician. That's more relaxing than I anticipated.
Yeah. I'm just grumbling. You can hear me grumble with between each note. Oh, that's the most relaxing, out of tune music I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
So relaxed that I feel like I'm losing brain cells. Well, so we're heading back to
the Long Draw Inn.
Yeah.
Long Draw Inn. After you.
It's only 2 blocks down the road.
Oh well.
You guys get there in like a couple of minutes. It's not a problem at all.
Lovely. So I will push open the door and go up immediately to the bartender.
Okay. You see a
clerk or whoever is behind the first desk. I see.
Yeah, you see a rather short halfling, long braided hair. Hello. Can I help you with anything? Need a room?
Bar? Which bar are we in?
This would be the Long Draw Inn.
Okay, that's okay.
Well, you can help me with 2 things, mate.
All right.
First, here's your key. Here's your key back.
Oh, are you not staying another night?
I'll find some way. I don't feel like keeping the room on retainer.
Okay.
Have you had problems with people just wandering off without returning keys?
We actually do. I'm very happy to know that you brought the key back, though.
Indeed. How many have you had in the last week?
This week, I've lost 3.
All right. Does the last name Ardinian mean anything to you?
I think I had a man check in not 5 days ago with that name.
Soren Ardinian?
I had never cut the first name.
Disappeared around the 16th?
Yeah, I mean, sounds familiar. I didn't keep specific tabs. Just 1 second, actually. Landlord, I think.
Okay.
All right, guys. Now they're metagame session.
Well, we know 8 people are gone within a week.
My apologies.
That we know of.
Yeah. We solved all your riddles while you're gone. Don't worry.
Alright, that sounds good. I'm happy to know that you guys did that, actually.
The answer was 4.
That was right.
T2, 42. He was almost
Golf clap.
And what about a bloke named Garen? Would have been around the 14th.
No, I never heard of that one.
Alright. Well, thanks very much.
Well, he answered that kind of quickly. Maybe do an inside check there.
Maybe?
Yeah, alright, sure. I'll give it a shot. I have no reason to. Yeah.
Well, he's
22.
22. Garen is a first name. Doesn't seem like he has much familiarity with the first names of the people who rent rooms out. You know this because he never asked for your first name when you rented a room.
That's fair.
I want to take a perception check, just kind of looking around the room, because I feel like Varys is probably a relatively paranoid guy.
Okay.
And is trying to keep tabs on essentially everybody around him as best he can at any given point in time.
All right.
Nope. Not looking around too good. That's
Uh,
a 11.
I mean, around the room you do see just 2 other people. One being a dwarf, one being a human. And they seem to be just playing a game of checkers down by the wall.
Oh.
But it's not a huge. This is a much smaller tavern and inn.
Yeah.
Who's winning?
It seems to be the dwarf.
Yeah.
Is
Suck
he
it, you.
cheating?
Make a perception check. A little difficult to cheat at checkers, but I mean, I guess it can be done.
Okay. Perception 14 at 3 is 17.
17. He doesn't seem to be
Oh, that's
cheating,
boring. Okay.
but he is very impatient with the younger human.
Okay, well, he's human, so I'll pass on that.
So, were you chance working last night?
Me? No. I was not working last night. Typically speaking, my wife works a night shift.
Your wife around?
Hmm?
Your wife around?
At the moment, she's asleep.
Alright. Ask her if you would, if she saw anything weird last night, like me walking out. Trance-like.
I'll make sure to do that.
Thanks. Also, can I see your neck?
My neck?
Yeah, just turn around and back of your neck.
It's a new trend in the city. We're just the new trend.
We're the official government neck inspectors.
This guy's a doctor.
Make
He's
There's a group of parasites around. They control people's minds. I want to make sure that no one is eating you or your brain.
Definitely make a persuasion check, Ben. You actually made it worse for some of that.
Yeah, no, I'm sure I did.
Like hit him in the eye.
None of us are wordsmiths, per se.
12.
Well, he very slowly turns to show you his neck. And just kind of looks back. Like, yeah.
I look for a red bump.
Knowing that you know what you're looking for, you don't see any mark.
All right. You seem to be clean. Thanks much, friend.
He's off his medication.
I'm just gonna turn and walk away.
Bye.
Drinks his own blood, that one does.
Yeah, he's a strange. Doesn't represent all of us.
Bye.
Varys is long gone. He's not much one for social situations, especially awkward ones.
Okay.
We don't really have a face, because our high charisma character is an asshole.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've got a whopping charisma of -1, so.
Oh shit! I have a lot of charisma. I'm just an awkward person.
My charisma is +3 because I have a 16, but I am not much of a conversationalist.
Yeah, I feel like Varys is the most prone to speak to people, but not necessarily the best at it.
Yeah.
But at least he tries.
Ditto.
That's the point. He tries.
What matters is that he tries.
All right. Towards the Baron District, then.
Okay.
Well,
sounds good.
All right. Let's head off to the Baron District.
The Baron District.
One more inn we have to investigate. Mine.
Mm-hmm.
And that is in the Baron District, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about 4 blocks from the hospital. Kind of posh, but still, you're still able to afford it. You know, so that was good.
What do the people look like walking about?
I mean,
if any?
It's very, as far as dress, very Victorian era England, Industrial Revolution age. A lot of top hats and petticoats, things like that. But it's also very cold this time of year. Also a lot of rain, a lot of drizzle, a lot of fog, a lot of very large wool coats, fur-lined cloaks and robes.
Scarves.
Yeah, lots of scarves. But I mean,
well,
simple folk, city folk.
All right. So, how long does it take us to get to the
Mustang?
Mustang Inn? Thank you.
Well, you're crossing the one of the bridges over into the Barren District, where you're able to find the Mustang Inn. It's probably another. I mean, if you're going by foot, it's a long walk. Probably going to take you about 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Well, we've got time to kill, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The next thing that is scheduled is back at 9. Back at the Long and Red.
Ellie, you're alive. I saw your lips moving, but no sound. Are you muted?
Do you have the mic on, or? Okay.
Who are you talking to?
Kate.
Kate, yeah, thank you.
Kate's been dead for 40 years.
It's been 80 years.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. It just does that sometimes. I have to reset the voice video thing. Okay. What I said was, is there a carriage taxi service that we could get?
There, in fact, is. Yes. It's pretty simple fare for a carriage taxi. It only runs you one copper piece for the entire city.
Hand it over. Take us to the Barren. What's your inn called?
Barren District.
The Barren District, the Mustang Inn, please.
Yeah.
Normally opposed
Right
to
away.
sort of transportations, but 1 copper is a very cheap price. Let's do this.
Yeah.
All 4 of you.
Yes, sir.
All right, come on in. He opens up the carriage door.
I look at it very distrustfully. Just like,
What does he look like? What's his race? Does he have his face covered?
He is a half-orc, kind of an older man, grizzled, scarred, but he's still kind of just slunched over, very bad posture, grayed hair, graying hair, not gray hair.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get in and shrug. What's the worst that could happen? If he tries to abduct us, we'll just kill everyone who comes at us.
Yeah, we were literally abducted by a horrible tentacle monster a few hours ago. I'm sure we can take a half-orc.
Are we saying this in character or out of character?
I'm saying it in character.
I was saying this in character.
He doesn't seem to mind. He just kind of.
I'm just gonna like say, "Don't fuck with us" as I get in the carriage.
As long as you're paying. To the Mustang Inn. By carriage, significantly decreases the time, but only to about 25 to 30 minutes. But you guys do get there, to the Mustang Inn. It's a 4-story inn, stone building. Very well, not super well decorated necessarily, but just kind of, you'll get a good, comfortable room here. Not quite the, broken wood flooring and, stolen lantern that you get at the Rolling Red.
Odo, I didn't take you to be a man of more eclectic pleasures.
It's near the hospital. Damn it, man. I need to be near the hospital.
Damn it, man, I'm a doctor.
As you say.
But
yeah. You work at the hospital, Odo?
I go from hospital to hospital to see what I can do. Apparently, there's a very large lack of doctors in this city.
Well, I mean, probably most of them died inhaling ash.
Yeah, they seem to be either crazy, dying of inhaling ash, or summoning aberrations, so...
Yeah, or horribly depressed.
And speaking of which, speaking of bad moods, I hobble over to the front desk. And I lift up my cane like some crazy old man. What is the mean of your clientele being abducted in the middle of the night? What this is something I could expect from the lower districts, but not here.
you head on in. Currently, no one's behind the counter. The bell sitting at the counter.
Then I'm gonna ding the bell with my cane.
Okay. You see a rather tall, lithe, elven man stroll out from behind the counter. May I help you, sir?
What is the meaning of this? Damn it, I can't protect. This is why I bought the room. I was abducted in the middle of the night. I bought this nice room to to be, for safety's sake, I'm
Sir, you say that you were abducted?
from your from your inn.
Sir, you left here last night of your own volition.
Ah, well, my mistake. Thank you very much for clearing that up.
I'm gonna walk up to the innkeeper and kind of slide him a gold piece and say, "I'm sorry, we're not even the same race. I can't say my uncle. My friend here is very ill. Please excuse him."
I certainly will. And he takes the gold piece and...
I say, hold on, I forgot my key. Here you go.
Oh, thank you, sir. And he puts the key on a little hook.
Have you had a problem with people just walking out without giving you back their keys?
Only 2 in the last week. Easy to replace.
Anyone you've noticed? Anyone who's gone missing had the first name Garen?
Garen. And he takes out a small logbook, flips through the pages.
That's how we know.
Yes.
That's good. He's got a logbook.
Garen Rothelion. He checked in a number of days ago. What was the date that I gave you?
14th.
14th is when he was abducted.
Yeah, he checked in on the 13th.
Do you say Garen Rothelion? Like
Marthelion.
Marthelion. Yeah.
Marthe Eion.
All right.
Is the Marthelion family known around here, or is he out of town?
You asked that of the elf, or are you asking to do like a history check? It's not a name that I am personally familiar with. I believe that he came from. I believe that he came from Dunedin, according to what he told me.
You'd say he was the wandering type.
He seemed to be more of a businessman. Came here for some kind of meeting.
What business would you say his?
I wouldn't know. I didn't ask.
That's fair.
Well,
also,
thanks for your time. We'll take the honorary old man now.
I want to do a quick sweep of the lobby. Also.
Okay. No real need perception check unless you want to do one. There's currently no patrons in the lobby at all. There's no tavern to this place.
I probably wouldn't have noticed because I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Can I?
Fine. The room is full of ghosts.
What was that?
As a turning away, final question: do you know anything about mind controlling insects?
Oh, good catch.
And he just kind of looks at you a little off, but like, none of you are staying here, are you?
No. We'll
okay.
No, we'll let you. Yeah.
I was.
Have a good day then, and now.
So you know nothing about that, just to be certain.
No, I certainly don't.
Patrons that have been walking out of the room of the lush shore, you hadn't noticed any giant insects on the back of their neck or something?
Nope.
Is he lying to me?
Make an insight check.
Don't need an inside check till you set up a heart.
Oh yes. Insight. 23.
What do you think? You gather a bit of information from him in that he seems to be quickly answering, not really thinking about the question. He also doesn't seem to really pay that much mind to his patrons, when they're leaving. And you wouldn't really know what to look for. He's just kind of saying this to get you out of here.
Alright, well, thanks for nothing.
Perhaps we should just leave.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm guiding Odo out the door.
I want some crisps.
I don't care what you want.
I'm playing along.
You're an ornery old man, whether you play along or not.
It's got a point.
Okay. Now we're going to the
Chamber of Deerhone. And
Indeed.
I know that some of you guys might have heard me say horn. It's Deerhone, as in H-O-N-E.
Oh, N-E. I thought you said ho.
That's what I typed.
Deerhone. Right. But yeah, Chamber of Deerhone, the Arcane Advisory Board to the City of Blackmark.
Just walk straight in. Yeah.
It's not really a... not really a building you can walk right into.
Gotta check the door first.
Yeah, you find the building. It's this large 8-story building. Not quite a tower, but more of just this large brick of a building, essentially, towering very high. Lots of frescoes, hanging lanterns from the peaks of this building. A large steepled roof with the very front of it. It seems that there's like this large glass circular window on the top three floors of this building, with a very intricate arcane design. The building itself is well guarded, has a pretty substantial yard out front, grounds with a massive fountain. This beautifully metallic fountain that is has water coming upwards, like it's raining upwards in the fountain and collecting on a large bowl that's this seemingly just sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? It just seems to be kind of like almost floating, suspended in air, that is collecting this water and funneling it upwards and then pouring it down. There's about 8 city guards, city watch, sentries currently standing outside, and the doors themselves are these large wooden carved doors with many sigils etched into it. Stone building, kind of ominous.
All right,
like a wonderful place.
I will walk up towards the door.
The 2 guards at the very front of the door. Halt, and state your business.
Looking for information about aberrations.
Aberrations. Proceed in then.
Wow, that was a lot easier than I thought that was going to be.
Cheers.
You head on in and you
pat one of them on the chest as we pass by.
He doesn't move at all.
Is he human? Or are you thinking like...
These 2 guards, one is human and the other one is a tiefling.
Alright, there's a lot of tieflings in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Well...
As you head on in, it's a very large, massive hallway that extends about 120 feet. A row of doors on the right, no doors on the left. With one very small little desk at the very end of this 120-foot hallway, with one little half-elf clerk sitting behind it, who is currently thumbing through a small book. And there's no benches, tables, or anything. Well, on the left wall, there's a lot of portraits and paintings. On the right side of the hall, other than just the doors, there are plaques above each door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go...
Is it alphabetized?
It's not alphabetized, no.
Are the doors on the right labeled in any way?
They seem to be labeled with sort of a mixture of names, like specific names, or you see one that's just like mess hall, one that's labeled sort of...
What was the half-elf doing?
Thumbing through a small book.
Does it look like he works there, or...?
Yeah, he's sitting behind the desk.
Okay.
Sorry. But yeah, one is labeled mess hall, one is labeled preservatory, one is labeled what is it? I'm trying to remember all the ones right off the top of my head. I don't really have to because I haven't written down. The Orlias chamber. And one is just a number of names, basically. They all seem to denote some kind of specific branch or offices or some kind of gathering hall, meeting chambers and things like that.
Alright.
Alright.
I will approach the desk.
Okay.
Go talk to that half-elf.
Excuse me.
Hello. Can I help any of you with anything? And she sets the book down.
Yes, we're looking for a very specific type of aberration, I believe.
Aberration?
Yes. We were recently kidnapped from our inns and brought to Lilac Hospital, where something called a grell. Was it just sort of looking at the rest of you? Grell is the word?
Growl seems right, yeah.
We were seeming to be kidnapped by a grell who was extracting organs from people, and it seems as though there might be a group of mind-controlling parasites that are abducting people from the inns.
All cards on the table, I see.
Okay.
Don't terrify her.
I'll see if I can contact somebody. And
she works at the Library of Magic. If this terrifies her, she's in the wrong line of work.
She's just a secretary, man. But next to her, there's a large contraption. Basically, you know what it is, a short-range telephone. And she rings up a couple of numbers and sets the telephone next to her ear.
I immediately take a step back because I don't trust it.
Okay. Mr. Tumult, some people are here to ask about an aberration. Aberration? And you hear the voice, on my way.
He's called Tumult.
After about 2-3 minutes, one of the doors on the right side of the hall opens up, and you see a rather well-dressed human step out. Oh, and my name is Professor Tumult, and I can help you with anything. Is there anything particular that you had to ask about an aberration, or is this a particular threat that I need to be informed about? Or?
You know anything?
Pleasure to meet you, Tumult. First of all.
Okay.
You know anything about?
Nice to meet you too.
Bugs, about sort of look at the size, like feel the bump, bring it back. That big. Latch onto people's necks, control their minds, make them go places they don't want to go.
Oh, yeah, I'll show him like the neck. Like, does it anything that can cause this?
Make a Arcana check. 15 plus. Looking it over, there's a number of things it could be. From what I could tell, it doesn't appear to be something that was a internal parasite. I believe this might have just. There are specific aberrations known as latches. They don't really have any particular function themselves. They don't feed off of their hosts, much like a lot of other parasitic aberrations do. But they specifically will obey other commanding creatures to perform whatever it is they do. The aberrations are quite an odd breed, and he seems to be kind of stammering after a moment, thinking to himself.
Are they usually in service to a single aberration?
Latches could be in service to just about any creature who has the wherewithal to command them.
I want to do an insight check on this guy because he seems a little weird to me.
Yeah, I was thinking it was strange.
Okay.
That's a 16.
16. You gather that, I mean, anytime an aberration comes up, it's kind of an alarming deal. But he also just seems to be, I mean, you guys just walked in off the street. She called, like, the lowest professor on the totem pole. Like, the ones on the higher end are probably not going to have the time for you guys.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah. This is like the sophomore professor, basically.
We got the untenured guy.
Pretty much.
Teaches like English 1301, you know.
Yeah. But he's there to pretty much be like, well, we have to call someone to have good PR here at the so
Gotta have them public relations skills.
yeah.
All right. Well,
if these latches were no longer in service to a creature, would they seek out something else, or would they slowly die off?
I believe that they'll follow any orders that they were given, but if they're not given orders, they'll simply lie dormant.
can I do a nature check to see if I recall anything?
I mean, aberrations aren't really natural,
That's
by definition. But you can make one, see how far you can get, but it'll be a higher DC than if you were making like an Arcana check.
I'll take my chances. Arcana is not my.
Well, I'll play a little bit on my harmonica and give you some guidance. It's a cantrip I have.
Mm-hmm.
That is. I just imagine as you whip out your harmonica in the middle of a conversation.
I am, and I have to touch you. So I touch your shoulder and I give you some guidance. You have a D4 to that ability check.
Instinctively, just like this.
Brush that off.
Okay. So you have a D4 to your check.
Well, that's a natural 1 plus.
Well,
Good job there.
not only do you know nothing, but I look like an idiot.
To be fair, not hard.
I was just so distracted by you putting your hand on my shoulder that I was just like totally forgot what I was doing. I just like dazed off.
Damn it, man! I'm a doctor. If I touch you, it's in the line of duty.
But yeah,
it goes off in your ear.
That is a dodgy
You
fucking
broke
sentence.
my train of thought.
As far as the nature check goes, latchers are not at all something that you've ever had to deal with, heard of, or anything.
Well, fuck. I've got nothing, guys. I don't know what.
Well, I've been around a long time. Maybe I could do a similar check of Arcana
Okay, go right ahead.
as a studier of magic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's not great. That's a 8 total.
Yeah, latchers. This is probably just some goddamn aberration. Never heard of.
Man, why are we so shitty at rolling dice whenever we're like
Following
Yeah, we're
a lead.
That's too bad because I have proficiency on like all the knowledge checks. It's
Anyway.
we just suck at rolling dice.
What are we trying to do at this point? Just find out stuff about aberrations?
Well,
specifically the ones that have bit our necks.
yeah. So these latches, as far as we can tell, were in service to this Grell, who was getting them to bring people to its organ factory.
And it's now dead.
And it's
My
now
least favorite
dead.
factory.
So presumably these latches are going to just keep bringing people over, and those people are going to wake up
And leave.
and
If
leave.
they're not given any commands, they go dormant.
Well, do they have to be actively commanded, or will they just keep going with their last command until they die?
They'll
They
keep
do
going with
like
their
that.
last command until they die, but if they don't have like an actual defined command, like if you just say go find someone, that.
Yeah, they were getting
Would be-
drifters. Remember, this is
Yeah.
a specific order.
But if they're
And they have
getting
names, and,
specific,
like,
yeah.
They had where we were from.
the
Yeah.
doctor reports that you guys found at the hospital had your guys' names as well as the inns that you guys were staying at. At least for yours, the other papers were just so badly damaged.
Yeah. Dr. Grell, PhD, did his homework.
Pretty
I
much.
feel like we're missing something big, and it's just
Where's the plot hook? We gotta find it.
In fairness, being kidnapped is pretty like unsettling no matter what. So.
Yeah.
That's true.
Perhaps we'll do better with a good night's rest.
yeah.
Yeah, I assume it's pretty late at this point.
At this point, it's probably only around 6 p.m.
Oh, the guy Tim
Tumult.
Timot. Yeah. Okay.
His first name is probably Soren. It's a really common name.
I'm gonna get shit for that for the rest of my time. His name is actually Callus. Callus Tumult. Which will gladly
Tumult.
inform you.
So you've given us a small amount of knowledge on aberrations. Do you know? Is there anyone with like an insane amount of knowledge on aberrations, or actively like
I
goes
mean,
out looking for them? Or do you know anyone that used to work at the Lilac
Psychiatric. Psychiatric.
Yep,
the Lilac Psychiatric Hospital. I'm afraid I don't know anyone personally who worked there. If you're looking for, I mean, I don't know if he has, if she has time, unfortunately, to really
I feel like she
meet
might
with
make
anyone.
time for this.
But that would probably be Mishka Via.
Is she here?
I don't believe she's here at the moment. But she is a most renowned alienist here at Deerhone. She's. I don't know if I
Is there
can
any way we
really.
can get a message to her?
I could perhaps take a note. And he takes out a small book and not a book, like a notebook.
Can I make a perception check? Is this guy afraid of us?
Make an insight check.
Insight. Yeah.
Who could possibly be scared of the
Woo! Not 20.
6-foot guy with a giant
20,
sight,
25.
a rifle wielding
As he doesn't seem to be afraid of you guys. It's just more when the name popped into his head of Mishka Veer. That's when he started getting a little nervous.
Oh dear.
Well, so that was just noticed by Odo, though. We didn't really quite catch that.
True.
I mean, also rolling at 20.
I would have asked, or I'm gonna ask, like, do you have a history with this individual?
I myself know. She's been here at the Chamber of Deerhone far longer than I have.
How old is she?
I believe she is. Let me look at the age for, because all of the different creatures having different ages is really confusing sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
She's only around 320 years old. She's an elf.
Only 320.
Yeah.
Casual. Look, do you think you could put us in contact with this Mishka?
I can certainly take a note and hand it to her, yes.
I'm looking for a little bit more of a direct line. A note, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure if I really have the authority here at the chamber to really give any direct contact to any of the higher members.
Do you at least know she's here now?
I wouldn't know if she's here at the moment. No.
Can I ask the secretary if she's here or not?
You
How far away is the secretary?
I haven't seen her leave, but she has many ways out of the building.
What room is she in? Just out of curiosity.
She kind of recedes into her chair a little. I can't really hand that out, unfortunately.
I put a gold on the counter.
We should just thank them for their service. They've done enough. We don't want to intimidate them. We don't want them to give a reason to call the guard.
Yeah.
I want to intimidate them a little bit.
Gold on the counter, just kind of sliding it away.
She doesn't. She kind of puts her hands up like I can't really take that.
You know what? One of us, it should be me, and I'm gonna do something that I don't want to do, but I'm gonna be like, your information, your giving us contact to this person could help save the city.
Make
We were kidnapped.
Make a persuasion check.
That's right, persuasion. Here we go.
By creatures.
18.
These people think we're insane.
Yeah, they really
Definitely, almost definitely.
To be fair, we're at least partially.
I was a doctor at the hospital. What hospital was I working at near the Mustang Inn?
The hospital that you were looking at is did I not write it down? I totally wrote it down, right? I'm an idiot. Good lord.
Definitely wrote it down.
Yeah. Hospital. Oh yeah, that's right. You guys never actually asked for the name of the hospital. But yeah, it's just the Let me get the name. Oh yeah, there it is. Cold Hill Hospital.
Okay,
on a
great.
bit of a hill.
Yes, I'm a doctor at the cultated hospital. I don't say demand. I need to speak to someone about this, and I pull out my little sample of heart tissue that was bitten by the apparition by the beak of the apparition.
She looks to Tumult, and Tumult is kind of nervous. I'll see if she's in, but if she's not, I would certainly recommend leaving any contact information that you guys have. If you're staying at any of the local inns, we could certainly send a missive to you when she does. I'll see if she's in.
Before we go, Professor Tumult.
Yes.
Varys, can you take out that sample?
Oh, this, and I reach into my bag and pull out my parchment that I have wrapped in.
Mm-hmm. One of the large tentacles of the barbs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He looks at it like, hi. I wouldn't know what to make of this. It's beyond.
Insight check on that one.
Beyond me. Go ahead.
19.
He seems more just taken back by like the grossness of this blackish licorice tentacle with large spiny barbs on it. It's just kind of a ghastly thing. Doesn't really seem to know anything about it. But yeah, you see the secretary make this call over this telephone.
If she is in, tell her at least 20 people that we know of have gone missing.
Miss Via, are you
Missing?
Are you in? Okay. Miss Via's secretary informs me that she is not currently in the building at this moment.
God damn it. Okay.
That's all we can do. We can't threaten them anymore. There's no.
But I'd be happy
What
to take a
anymore?
note.
No one's threatening them now.
Yeah,
I'm afraid that you will. You've already proven that you've been hit before talk.
Alright, well that was with monsters. That wasn't really with
People.
To be fair, that's
a snap judgment.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
I feel like in all these conversations, a bunch of what the hell are we doing right now?
well,
at this point, I've even lost track.
yeah. As it turns out, so I will, thank them and start walking down the 120-foot hall.
Do you leave a note or your contact information for?
We're at the Rolling Red Inn.
Okay.
Yep. My name is. I write my full name on there.
Okay. She nods and Tumult. I'll take that up to her and I'll see to it that her secretary gets it and that gets it quickly, and I'll make sure that she'll contact you, I'm sure. And
make sure that she does, or we'll be back.
He takes the note and heads on upstairs. Okay.
Well,
it seems as though this may be taken care of. Killing the Grell may have just stopped the latches from continuing to abduct people.
Yeah, I don't.
Besides, even if they are abducting people, this is Black Mark. That kind of thing happens all the time regardless.
This is true. What are we doing here?
I don't care what you guys do. I'm going to bed.
Right.
It's already 6:30. That's a half hour past my bedtime.
Oh my god. Are you coming back to our end, or?
Well, I got your key.
Oh yeah. I want to do a sleight of hand check to see if I pocket everything to him.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to have tried to have done that at some point in time, and if I failed it, just.
Go ahead and make a perception check, Oda.
Oh, perception.
Yeah.
16.
And what was yours first?
My sleight of hand is. That was a 17, actually, just barely.
Okay.
Good work.
All right. So you have your key back in your hand.
So as he's like, I have your key right here. I imagine he kind of pats his pocket down. And is like, oh wait.
I don't have your key, but I'm very sleepy.
I gotta pick it up and just lightly twirl it. It's like, look, you can come back and stay at the Rolling Red Inn if you'd like. I don't really require a bed anyways, but it might be a good way to get a fresh start. We've had about a hell of a night, or a hell of a day, I should say.
Just in case these creatures come back, because we were the last persons on that list, and we did escape, so they might come back.
How about we bunk up into one room, trade in both of our keys for a double bedroom, and work it out from there. We'll take turns keeping watch, and if any friends come and visit in the night, then we'll have somebody.
Well, then it should be you and I or someone else first, because you can take the 4-hour sleep or meditation, then the 4-hour light work to just watch.
Yeah, I don't mind watching.
Okay.
Take that time to kind of just clean my rifle.
And then the other 2 can sleep after that, after you're done with your first 4 hours, or after your final 4, up to you.
My final form. Well, in that case, I suppose we gotta head back to the other side of town.
I need some food. I'm starving. Okay, another copper piece. We get in a carriage and go.
Okay.
Do we get the same guy, or is it a different guy?
It's a different guy. It's just sort of a younger human man, probably early 20s, scruffy beard.
Well, in that case, let's go.
Let's take the next one. I miss our half-orc friend. He was really nice about us just insulting him to his face.
Do you guys actually wait for the next one, or do you take this one?
No.
Okay.
I'll take it, but I'm not happy with it.
Yeah, well,
big fucking surprise.
Very quickly getting used to you grumbling.
But you guys get back to the Rolling Red Inn. It's probably starting to get around 7 p.m. at this moment.
Oh.
Alright, well, I still want to talk to the barkeep, so I'm going to get a drink, some food, and start writing a letter.
Writing a letter to who?
None of your goddamn business.
Does it have?
Alright, harsh, but okay.
Does the barkeep have any bread and cheese?
Yeah, there's some food, not really good quality or too well preserved. But yeah, she has some bread, she has some cheese, she has some crackers.
One of the few things I'm not picky for is food.
No. But yeah, for a good meal of bread and cheese and crackers, or if you're not getting crackers, it's probably only run you. I'm not even gonna look at the book. Probably only run you about 3 copper.
That's fine.
Right.
I'm gonna pay with exact change because I'm not gonna throw money around.
He picks out his little coin purse.
All right.
Hold on, I think I have a coupon in here. There's like 4 people behind me in line.
Yeah. But yeah, she takes the 3 copper, and just kind of just behind the bar, there's like a small little counter with a few wooden boxes where she opens up and starts putting some stuff on a plate for you. Here, you gotta have.
Thanks. I just go to my table and eat quietly.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for the night crew to show up. Good old Quare.
Coor.
Go
ahead, Ella.
Can I ask the tiefling? Has there been any missing persons report? Like the police in this area, guards. Are they looking for missing people?
Sentries don't really give a damn about a few missing vagabonds.
Okay. Where could we find their building that they stay in? Police station, sentry station.
Oh, the City Watch have an office just down the road, about 4 blocks from here.
Oh, okay, cool.
You'll see it marked by the crest city.
All right.
As well as the
3 copper and get food as well.
Okay. You guys do notice that the Cleric of Heron is not in the bar at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. But you do see the 5 drinks are currently still on the table, completely empty.
Are the half orc and the dwarf still around?
The half orc is not there, but the dwarf is still there, and he's currently drinking and just kind of humming, tapping his foot a little.
Kind of a jovial mood.
You guys just wait till 9, basically.
I wanted to. So we found all these bodies. How much do you reckon if we told the guard about all these? This is where all the missing people are gone. Money? We'd get a prize for that.
Sorry.
If we come up with a culprit, I'm sure we get a reward, but we don't have that.
I mean, we're just like, I'm sure they've got a few missing person signs out.
There's currently a large decomposing brain.
Yeah.
Within the first hallway,
just like,
which they can't interrogate.
But we can turn up, show them the tentacle, say, "Hey, we defeated this monster. That's you nicking citizens of your city."
All we have to go on is our word.
I don't think aberrations are really given to due process, mate.
Yeah, or a trial.
Sorry.
Yeah, so they could just go to the hospital and see the dead bodies. I think it's a shot. We might get some money.
Let's see. Ezekiel and Varys, since you two are native to the country around, I'll let both of you make history checks.
History check. That is a 17.
18.
Alright. Both of you would know that the City Watch here in Blackmark aren't really keen on paying out for just information. Unless they specifically requested. Primarily it's more bounties that they'll pay for. But they don't really offer a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to seeing if they have any bounties for posting, though.
Well, we could always use a little bit of coin. I have very much myself.
We could see if the squid is wanted for shoplifting or something.
Oh my god. Well, where do we go from here? We've
bed?
Oh, well.
Bath and beyond.
I'd like to wait up to see if we can run into good Core here in a moment.
About after waiting, it's probably around 8:45 at this point. You do see the sun has gone down. The door opens up, and you see this average height, average build Everest, which is bat folk, large protruding ears, the black leathery skin. Steps in. Just this. You guys all know what Everests basically are. They're a common race here in Rothelion. One of their defining characteristics is that, being that they can trace their roots from the Shadowfell, they are extremely monotone and apathetic. They're often seen as cold-hearted and callous, but that does give them the advantage of not really being prone to fear. But yeah, you guys see one head on in, waves to the tiefling behind the bar. "I'll get to work right away." And he steps in the back. And about 5 minutes later, he steps out, apron on, tying it behind his back. "Anything I should know about?" "No, love. Just get to work and have a good night. You four over there.
Yep.
This was the one that you wanted to talk to, I suppose."
Wonderful. Killer, was it?
"Have fun, Kyo." "Yeah, that's me."
Were you around last night around the time these two were walking out in about a trance-like state?
"Yeah."
Did you see anything strange on them?
They walked out. Didn't really say anything.
Did we have anything attached to our necks?
I mean, you guys had your hoods up, cloaks up. It's cold out, so I can't really imagine that'd be strange.
Look, Quer, his name is Varys. We were. We may look like we've been walking out of here willingly. There's something strange afoot, and I want to know what information you may have as to the patrons that came in during that time, shortly before us departing this here fine establishment.
I mean, I didn't really see anything too out of the norm.
No, crawling small creatures of sorts.
You haven't had more of a rat problem recently or something?
I mean, I haven't really checked the basement for any rats.
Is there anybody who was in here last night that seemed strange or that didn't have a room but seemed to have been here anyway?
Let's see. You think for a moment. About 3 nights ago, some tall elf guy came in, bought a drink, sat down, never drank it, and left.
Tall elf guy, could you elaborate a little bit? Because I mean, I'm a tall elf. Too much good.
He's pale skin, dark hair, probably a moon elf. I don't know.
Did he speak to anybody?
No, he just said I wanted a drink, and he sat there for a bit, scribbled in a notebook, and then just kind of left without thinking the drink.
Did you see him again last night?
No.
Nobody strange, nobody out of the ordinary.
I mean, everyone's a little strange.
You didn't happen to see what he wrote in his notebook?
Which table was he at?
That one. And he points to one of the booths on the other side of the tavern, away from where you guys were previously sitting earlier, or where the cleric was. So, on the other side.
I'm gonna go over to that table.
Okay. Are you making like an investigation check, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of look over, see if there's anything scrawled sort of in the wood or carved into it. Flip it over if I need to. Just sort of go over this thing with every eye for detail.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check then.
That is a natural 20, so 21 total.
Oh shit.
You do see I mean, there's obviously like a number of little wet markings, like little coffee rings on the table. Some of the wood is cracked. The booth itself has seen better days. The upholstery is starting to rip. Doesn't really seem to be anything standing out necessarily. There is some writing that seems to be carved under the desk. Under the table, sorry.
What does it say?
What languages do you speak?
Hold on a moment. This is somewhere. Here we go. Common, Celestial, and Undercommon.
It's not a language you recognize. It does seem to be more iconography, or almost like Pictionary.
Hey, you all, come. Yeah, you all, come over here.
I'm not looking under the table.
I'm very immediately going over there. I do speak Elvish, Common, Infernal. What's worth?
What was the once past Infernal? Cut out a little.
Sorry, Elvish, Common, Infernal.
Okay.
Cut out again.
Yeah.
God dang it.
Almost exactly the same time.
Elvish, Common, Infernal.
And Draconic.
And Draconic. It's none of those.
Gnomish?
Nope.
Well then, I can't say I recognize it.
For anyone who wants to, go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Is this commonly associated with fiends, undead, or?
You know, if I were to go to sleep, I could read it with a spell, but you didn't let me. So.
I'll be patient.
No one was stopping you.
Man.
You took my room key.
17.
17.
Shush, little man.
I rolled an 18, and so it's 20 overall.
All right. Ezekiel?
No, it's not. I just lied. It's 18. I don't have any bonuses to that. Is this just straight intelligence?
Yeah, just straight intelligence.
Okay, 18.
Odo and Ezekiel, what did you guys roll?
I didn't roll.
Okay.
I'm not looking under the table. I'm sitting at the...
Ella, you're the only one who really gathers this, looking it over. It only seems to be some form of thieves' cant, but you're probably not really sure. You really can't tell what it actually says.
Thieves' cant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta be a rogue.
Or just someone who thieves' cant.
Okay. I was like, guys, I've seen some people use this before. This looks similar to thieves' cant.
Thieves' cant what?
What?
Boo.
I just can't read it.
Well, thieves can read it. We can't.
That's why the thieves can. I'm going to go back to our lovely, and I'm going to say, hey, let me ask you something again. Do you happen to know thieves' cant, the iconography and language spoken by thieves one another?
Did someone scroll on one of the tables again?
Again? Well, yes. Over here where our friend was sitting, the lovely oven man.
He takes out like some sandpaper and wraps it around his hand.
Wait. Does anyone have any? Do I have any parchment? Right before you do that, like we'll let you do it after.
You're gonna make an edge of it.
Yeah.
I actually do have parchment as part of my.
Can I please borrow that parchment and just charcoal or pencil or something?
I give you a piece of my 10 pages of parchment.
Okay.
I have 9 pages of.
Do I have ink?
If you have chalk or ink,
I have ink. I don't have chalk.
Okay, I'll just like.
Okay, so you copy the thieves' cant. After you're done, he's just standing behind you, just kind of waiting.
Can you read this?
No.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure we can find a rogue somewhere.
And he just starts sanding off the thieves' cant from underneath the table.
I bet you the minute we find someone to read this, is gonna say like, "I suck dick" or something.
It's usually to direct thieves to friendly places. I assume
Need 1 canned tomatoes, 2 loaves bread.
But yeah, you guys can deal with that as you.
Okay.
Well,
time is it by this point?
At this point, it's about 9:30.
Well, we waited here for Quer, and he was a absolute charmer. What? I have no idea where to go from here. Maybe a good night's sleep is the best idea.
Nice. Okay.
Nah.
He pokes his head out from underneath the table. I mean, if you guys are wondering about all the kidnappings and missing people, probably just ask the god. Granted, I mean, the people who have been missing, nobody's seen them get kidnapped. So
That's he makes a fair point. Could just go talk to him.
So
the guards are probably going to say the same thing. They just walked out of their own volition.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, the gods aren't going to investigate it.
Can't kidnap yourself.
Pretty much.
Well
So
then.
we know.
He climbs out from underneath the table, brushes his apron off. If you guys see any more people doing that, let me know. And he rolls his eyes, head back over to the bar.
You
I think I'm
missed
sick of these kids.
Can I go over to the dwarf?
Yeah, he's currently just kind of humming, tapping his hands, and drinking another drink. Oh,
Hello, friend.
hello. Need anything?
How are you for this fine night?
Drunk.
Always good. Listen, I hear that you and your friend who was here earlier are regulars.
I don't know.
Any chance you can read this, and I will just sort of take the paper from Ella.
Yeah.
Hey.
You kind of. I mean, it's definitely looks like kind of some shit that people. Some thieves often scroll that stuff outside my shop.
Outside your shop.
Yeah.
Where's your shop?
Block down from here.
You know where these thieves usually hang out?
Not at all.
Alright.
Well,
We'll
thank you.
give him one for you. Thank you very much.
Alright.
I'm gonna go look for a. I'm gonna go look for a town guard.
Okay.
They're pretty much garbage, useless. But...
You head out. You see one
I'll stick with you.
pretty quickly. There's a town guard
Buddy system.
not 1 block from you currently. Walking down the street. The town guard here, they aren't like wearing like full armor and swords at the hip. They're more carrying a spear with studded leather armor, kind of the badge insignia for their city and the district they typically patrol. I think very, very Bobby.
Hey, I'm gonna stop the next one. Hey, you sir, you there?
Oh, hello. Can I help you? Is everything alright?
Yeah. Well, now things are. I have a question. We've recently been. Let me rephrase this. Have you had any issues with kidnappings as of late? I know this town is very dark and full of terrors, but
Kidnappings. We've had 2 people get kidnapped not 3 days ago. Do you know anything about that?
well, actually, I might. Do you happen to have the names of the 2?
One was names.
Are we all there? Or
That's
I
up
think
to you
it was
guys.
just Varys and me. But if you guys wanted to tail along, I know that Oda wanted to go to sleep.
Odo's gonna since he's lost, or rather he's misplaced the key that was given to him by not Varys, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's just going to buy another room and go to sleep. But he's instructed, or he's going to instruct Ella to see if she sees him leave before the night's done, to stop him.
I'll just hit. Don't worry, man. I got this. I'll play cards with Dwarf.
Okay.
I'll ask the Dwarf if he wants to play cards.
Yeah, he'll gladly accept.
Okay, I'm gonna play cards.
Okay.
Odo goes to bed to recharge his spell slots.
Okay.
Is
The
Dwarf willing to bet?
yeah, he definitely is. The 2 people that were kidnapped are Quinn and Rhys Venari, a married couple who were seen being basically attacked and thrown into the back of a carriage in the middle of the night.
Well, I don't believe I have any information on those 2, but as far as other abductions, disappearances, we come earlier today. We found ourselves at Lilac Hospital. I know that place is long defunct. Yes, so went outside, but for what seems like it was on our own volition, we may have been under the influence of some creature or some aberration of it. Me and my compatriots, Ezekiel here being one, a couple others inside, we all had the same strange that we believe to be from a creature that may have put us under some form of ruse, some form of mind control. I don't know why I'm exactly spieling all this to you, but this may have something to do with missing people.
Well,
more information.
You've had about a little over 30 missing people reports in the last week.
Oh, jeez.
At least here in the Mark District.
Mm-hmm. Well, for starters, you might want to check out Lilac Hospital. There was more than a handful of very much so eviscerated folk there.
Just kind of quickly jolts to, as you say, eviscerated folk. And you're saying you saw this there?
Oh, saw it, narrowly avoided it.
We saw the aftermath. We woke up, killed the Grell that had lured us all there, and then came back.
I would ask both of you to join me to the local city watch office, if you would please, for the reports.
I don't not much one for paperwork.
Can my friend go back? He's had a long day and quite a bit of drink.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 18.
He shrugs. Okay. As long as one of you fill out the report, we'll send a couple of men to check out Lilac Psychiatric Hospital and see what's there. But as long as we have a report from one of you, as well as contact information, if we discover any additional information, just come with me, please.
I will. I'll go with him. First, I'm going to reach into the duster pocket and pull out the silver flask and hand it to Varys.
Okay.
Just be like, whatever's left in here, you can drink. I ask that you would fill it up before morning, and if Oda tries to take it, just clock him in the face.
You've got it, friend.
Yeah.
I take that just easily down and head back inside to go meet up with Odo and Ella.
Alright. Ezekiel, as you accompany the guard, for the most part, I'll be, for decency's sake, I'll just brief past this part for you, because paperwork is always a hassle. Go ahead.
And paperwork.
I will ask, once sort of we get there, we've gone through the sort of basics, and he's just doing the sort of notation work, if they know anyone, if anyone within the City Watch can read Thieves' Cant.
There's a couple of people who are nearby in the actual offices who could probably potentially read Thieves' Cant.
Okay.
You ask, do you like straight up ask
Yeah,
them? Or?
I'll just show the paper and see if they can give me a one way or the other.
You see one of the, not quite a city watch guard, but more of one of the investigators here in the Mark District. Kind of takes a pair of spectacles. That's odd. It's definitely a form of Thieves' Cant, but it's not quite for thieves, it seems. I'm having some trouble. It seems more for Thieves' Cant. This would be gibberish. It's hard to explain, really.
Gotta take a bathroom break. Be right back, guys.
Alright. And where did you find this?
Underneath one of the tables at the Rolling Red.
Odd. Well, it's some form of Thieves' Cant, that is for sure, but I'm not sure anything about it. From what I could tell, it seems to read basket, black, and rain. That's about it. Everything else just seems. That's definitely not just Thieves' Cant, whatever it is.
Basket, black, and rain?
Yeah.
Alright, well, that's 3 more words than I had of it an hour ago, so. Also, about this kidnapping of the married couple, the Venari.
What about them?
Are the Venari sort of from around the Market District, or have they been, or are they more well-off family?
From what you can gather, from at least from this investigator, the Venari family, the Venari are 2 married people. They live in the Wall District. They were currently in the Mark District for shopping, according to a family friend, they were just kidnapped while out and about in the middle of the night, though. Not a lot of shops open in the middle of the night, but you can find a few.
Alright, kidnapped while shopping. Anything left behind, or just someone saw them be thrown into a carriage, drove off?
Yeah, a vagrant, one of the more homeless people of the city, saw them get thrown into a carriage and taken off.
More homeless.
Alright. Well, appreciate the answers.
Okay.
Also, I understand that you all post bounties on occasion.
That we do.
Why don't I take a look at those?
Absolutely. While that's going on, Ella, what do you want to bet, and what game would you like to play? There are a number of games. The dwarf is very fond of.
Well, I don't mind what game, but I have a pack of marked cards that I would like to use.
Okay. So cards it is. Let's see. The marked cards. How are they marked?
It just I didn't actually think about that. Very small symbols that I can just tell which card is which.
Right.
I guess.
You're very lucky he's drunk.
You'd have to know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't know how that works. I don't play cards that much.
Okay. In that case, let's treat this like an actual game of cards. Since you're using marked cards, I'll let you roll 6d6s, and he'll only get to roll 3.
Okay.
You cheatsy gnome. And what'd you get? Like the actual individual numbers.
I actually have. I left most of my dice there, so I only have one set of dice. So give me a sec. 3.
It's essentially, it's kind of like poker almost. He specifically just rolled 2 6s, high pair. Trying to get either.
Am I rolling 5 dice? Or did you?
6.
How many dice? 6
total.
Okay. Come on. Yes. Okay.
So
I
what?
just rolled 4, 3, 5, 5, 5, 6.
4, 3, 5, 5, 6. And what's the 6th one? 6th die?
Oh no. 4, 3, 5, 5, 5, 6.
Okay, so you got 3 of a kind.
Yeah.
And that definitely beats his hand.
Yeah, get wrecked.
Alright, didn't ask how much you were betting. He's only got 3 silver total on him.
I'll bet 1 silver then.
Okay, so you get a silver out of him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Alright. Anyone else doing anything? I know Odo is asleep at the moment. Correct? Alright. And, let's see. Varys is currently out at the moment.
Toilet break.
There. There he is. Varys. Yeah, he's gotta get his head. Varys, we've all turned into different accents. Hello. Varys, what were you doing when you got back into the inn?
I came back and I was just probably going to get ready for bed with good old Odo and Ella.
I'm saying it to make sure you guys don't leave or anything, because I was playing cards.
Alright.
I'm making sure the crotchety old man doesn't hurt himself getting up the stairs, I guess.
I'm already up the stairs, I'm afraid.
Right.
He's asleep.
And
I am going to. I think I'm just gonna like wait in the lobby for a little.
Okay.
Do you want to play cards?
No, I don't believe so. I want to stay vigilant. I want to keep an eye out on things, make sure nothing gets past us.
That's fair enough.
Right.
This guy's really drunk though. You can win a lot of money. Not that he
A
has.
lot of one piece of silver.
Yeah.
A lot.
He's poor, okay?
You gotta
It's
copper and
so
silver him to death.
Okay. So you guys are going to continue the investigation into about these Latchers, this Grell, and trying to either get every bit of information you can or stop any further kidnappings or whatever it really is by definition. That's actually where we'll probably end for today.
Okay.
And Ezekiel, I'll get those bounties for you.
Alright, and I will let you know what I wrote in the letter and who I am sending it to.
Okay. I'm going to stop the